Captain's log, USS Navajo, stardate 48903.1, Captain David Perone reporting. The Navajo is en route to Calvor Prime for a summit that could open the Rolar sector to Federation trade. The Calvorian leadership has invited multiple regional powers to discuss access to vital minerals resources. While we're officially here to represent Starfleet's interest and foster cooperation among different worlds in the sector, Starfleet has a vested interest in the outcome. The Gemulan colony has need of those minerals, and cooperation and peace in the sector would be vital to supporting our interest and supporting the enemy. The colony. And log. Yeoman, correct the log, please.
Aye, aye, sir.
Sorry. With that, I think we're gonna throw you on the bridge of the Navajo here. Our Stern Helm officer is taking over the science station briefly.
I give Vogel a thumbs up. She can do it.
Corral, by the way.
Corral. Captain Mullet.
Mr. Graal, what is our ETA at the summit?
What is the ETA? GM.
8 hours, sir. We should be there by the morning.
Very good. Mr. Vogel, anything interesting between here and there that we need to keep an eye out on?
Checking the sensor reading. Nothing much in front of us, sir. Just the usual space dust and stray comet every now and then.
Well, I'd say it looks like smooth sailing, but I don't want to jinx us. Mr. Knox, Starfleet Security have anything on the Calvorians?
I'll bring it up. Anything on them? GM, or you want to for that?
There is a couple things, but give me an insight plus. Let's go science or con for this. Diff 1.
Okay, diff 1. I'll go con. Let's see. And can I apply customs enforcement? Not really, right?
No.
Okay. Can't blame me for trying. Okay, here we go. Perform task, 2 dice. No focus. Here we go. Let's see. Looks like 1 success there.
Well, that succeeds. You only needed 1. I will post this in the Navajo chat for you guys.
Cool.
Oh. Data dump. Captain looks at the little monitor on his chair to review the exposition dump. Mr. Solak, how are my engines today?
Nacelle B is reporting a 0.1356% power reduction, which I believe is the result of one of the upgrades that we did at the station. I am attempting to compensate, but overall engines are functioning as normal.
Excellent. I trust you to deal with. I trust you'll deal with the reduction in power in short order.
Indeed.
I've heard the captain of the Lafayette is bragging about her helm officer, which I find an unusual trait in a Vulcan. But the first time we meet them in this sector, I want to make sure we can outrun their ship.
Bragging is not a trait that is customary for Vulcans. That is very interesting if that individual is saying such things. I certainly do not feel the need to brag about this ship's ability to sustain a high warp speed.
Well, I'll do your bragging for you, Mr. Solak. But I find baking apple pies to be a strange behavior for Vulcans.
But I'm very glad that he does it.
Oh, they are most excellent.
Thank you, Lieutenant Knox. I do not see what is strange about cooking, Captain. Most beings cook. I just find it interesting to experiment with different recipes. The same way that I find it interesting to experiment with different technology, such as the technology that we use to upgrade Nacelle B. Apparently, my hypothesis needs refinement.
Well, every new recipe occasionally needs adjustment.
Trial and error, I believe, are the key ingredients of both cooking and engineering.
Yeah, speaking of new recipes, when are you going to try out pecan pie?
I have not researched pecan pie. This is a favorite of yours?
It is.
Interesting.
I
shall research pecan pie.
Transfer over to Solak's display a recipe for shepherd's pie from the highlands of Caldos.
Interesting. The human definition of pie is a very broad definition.
It is a very broad thing. This is a totally different type of pie, but I thought I'd show it to you.
Very interesting.
It's an apt description. I mean, shepherd's pie isn't really a dessert. And
No.
I don't think it's just restricted to humans. I mean, try Klingon blood pie sometime, which I expect you. I anticipate that you will know how to make if the next time we run across my spouse.
It is on my list of new recipes to attempt, Captain, based upon your current and newly updated marital status. Blood pie is a most interesting dish. Not one that I myself am interested in eating, but very interesting indeed. Klingon cuisine is quite underrated in the galaxy.
It is.
Thank you for this recipe, Lieutenant. I will endeavor to study it closer.
That's my grandmother's recipe.
Indeed. Then I shall respect your traditions. Captain, the Nacelle B power fluctuations have returned to normal.
Good job, Mr. Solak.
Trial and error, sir.
What class of vessel is the Lafayette?
The New Orleans class. Not as nice as the Nebula, but it'll do.
Agreed.
I think in this brief that Mr. Knox found, I think I found a good job for you, Mr. Vogel.
Yes, sir.
Well, according to what Mr. Knox found, that the Calvorians have a extensive ceremonial exchange of gifts and knowledge for diplomatic meetings. Perhaps you and Lieutenant Knox could work together in coming up with an appropriate gift for us to give.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I will begin researching appropriate gifts, sir.
Excellent. Make sure it reflects the diversity of the Federation. I think that's an important quality of our of our government, that we are so diverse.
Interesting. Their diet is omnivorous, favoring seafood-based cuisine. Meals are often tied to ritual or political symbolism. Most interesting.
Well, at least the food will be good. I wonder if they have their own version of calamari.
Oh wow. Somebody's gonna have to learn some of their ceremonial stuff.
Yes, it does look like I have some homework to do. Thank you for pointing that out, Lieutenant.
Anything you guys wish to particularly do before you arrive at Calvor Prime?
Vogel's gonna get with Knox and start figuring out appropriate gifts.
Yeah, definitely. See if we can find out anything about what kind of gifts they tend to give, and maybe anything that's been noted that's been given to them. Maybe check the Hornets files.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe get an idea of what they got and maybe what the Hornet gave.
Yeah, definitely.
Give me a reason plus con or science difficulty of 1. Assisted by
I'll
the
leave that.
ship's computers plus science.
Would you accept Starfleet protocols?
No, this is more cultural.
Yeah, shot in the dark. And I don't think xenolinguistics apply. You want me to take this one, Knox? I have.
Yes, please. She's looking over your shoulder. Yeah, you're the genius.
I'll give you a thread. I'll use. It doesn't matter what I use. Because I don't have momentum yet.
But you do now.
This will be for my untapped. I have a bonus.
Isn't untapped for just control?
No. It's so whenever.
Oh, that's okay. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it just uses my control as its numbers or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's for every roll basically.
Just went on the ship and the assist if there is one.
I can roll the ship.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
got it.
Knox should probably assist.
Okay, what's the ship?
Computer science.
Computers and science.
And you want an assist from me as well?
Why not?
Okay, and that was control and science
Or con.
or con? I'll do science. And this is an assist, so it's only 1 die. And I have no applicable focus. Unless streetwise helps me. Probably not, though, right? That's more. I think that's a success for me.
It is. It is. What was the diff?
1. So
Four.
I think that was a good trade.
Nice.
And we have a
One
bonus.
pressure, 4 momentum. Mm-hmm.
You want to make some kind of trait out of this or anything like that? To use the bonus momentum?
Depends on the information.
We
could also ask a
give
question.
a trait, meaning we've come up with something, because I don't know. That's just a thought.
Yeah, we'll see what the information is, but yeah, it's a good idea.
There's not much information on what the Hornet gave the Calvorians. Looks like they
might
only
not-
gave them their cultural database, maybe.
Yeah, it was a first meeting, so
GM, can I use my bonus to see what the Calvorians gave the Federation?
I will send you the log that the captain wrote.
Do like logs.
it's log. It's log.
Red and Stimpy.
Good stuff.
I'm so glad it's on Paramount. You watch a couple Star Trek episodes and, some Ren and Stimpy.
Exactly. You're ready for lower decks at that point.
Let's see. I'm able to pull up the captain's log. Let's see. Contact with the Calvorians. Remarkable people. Cities rise from both the land and the sea. Diplomatic ceremony is central to their culture. Formal exchanges of symbolic gifts precede any discussion of trade or politics. Each gesture is layered with meaning. If we are to build lasting relations, we must move at their pace and learn their subtle currents. In Calvorian diplomacy, what is left unsaid can matter far more than what is spoken out loud. So no mention of the gifts, I take it.
No mentions of the gifts.
I
It doesn't even indicate that they brought anything back with them. So
Yeah. Well, we do not know that they like things that are layered with meaning and of cultural significance.
Well, the captain wanted us to give a gift that showed the Federation's... Why am I blanking on this word? Cultural diversity.
Yeah.
So perhaps if we were to pick a few important symbolic gifts from a few of the core Federation worlds.
I think something like that, and then present them in a ritualistic way from one of the Federation worlds, meaning we zero in on one culture's process of giving a gift over, one layered with symbology. They would appreciate that.
Well, it seems to me that the Calvorians are an aquatic race, right?
Or at least bring up a thing on them. Is their biology like, do they have gills? Do they live close to the coast for the most part?
Well,
It's
the
in the
captain's log
brief.
just said that their buildings rise from the land and the sea. And they are adopted for both land and water environments. But I was thinking as maybe something to show the diversity of Earth, maybe a few stories involving the exploration of the Earth's oceans. 1,000 Leagues Under the Sea,
semi-aquatic
perhaps? Stories like
theology.
that?
Well, perhaps we could. I don't know, maybe something that hollow projects the oceans of different Federation world.
But this needs to be a symbolic gift.
Yeah, it's true.
Symbolically, there's nothing more important to humans throughout history than exploration. So maybe a few ancient stories about that might fulfill that need for Earth anyway.
Yeah.
Commander Solak,
Yes.
what would be something that the Vulcans would hold culturally significant?
The original teachings of Sirach, the mental discipline of the philosophy of Gnome, the cultural symbols of our past, ritualistic symbols, and the ritualistic identity of one's family. Are you suggesting that any of these objects be used as a gift to the Calvarians?
I'm thinking that if we were to include a few items that are culturally significant to a few of the core Federation worlds, it might be seen as a grand gift and would meet the captain's criteria.
And they're really into rituals. So if there's a Federation world that has a ritual around giving gifts symbolically, and there's gotta be, then that, I think, would be the way we would present the gift. And that's where we could have things like something from Vulcan and something from Earth, but the primary gift.
The primary gift?
I lost my thought there. She's struggling a little bit. She looks at Solak. It's gone. Thought disappeared.
The primary gift would be showing the Calvorians what made the Federation member worlds evolve into what they are today.
Well, while we would not be able to provide the original texts of the philosophy of Gnome, it's possible that we could put together a book of some sort that does have those teachings in one place. That could be presented as a gift. that would show some elements of the Vulcan philosophy and culture.
What about a replica of the Coalition of Planets document that led to the formation of the Federation?
That is an interesting idea. If we are to exchange our culture and understanding of the galaxy with theirs, that would be a good starting point. However, I would imagine something like that would have been shared with them in some capacity. The data would have been shared with them. You were suggesting a replica of the original document.
That was, that's just an idea that popped into my head.
Interesting. I would say that that would be sufficient for some sort of cultural exchange. Unless, of course, you want me to make something.
I'll give you guys a hint. This is kind of like second contact for you guys,
Okay.
even though it's been over 100 years.
Solak says, unless, of course, you want me to make something for them.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, some of this stuff might have been presented in first contact. Note to the galley.
Should probably post their captain's log here.
And they like stuff that has layers within it that can think about the gift afterwards.
Yeah, that's why I was leaning toward the cultural stories and stuff. Things that might not necessarily be in the the generic database they give.
True. Then we need to find a story about the early Federation, which, shows the struggles of different cultures coming together. Maybe there's a play or some kind of music that represents that. I think music would be one that would have the multiple layers that they might enjoy.
That would be the captain's idea.
I think that might work if we could find some music from the time of the formation of the Federation, that reflects that. Sort of like giving classical music has references to things. The guns of 1812, represent. Music can be very representative of that kind of stuff. Well, Sarah, do you think you can find something like that in the database? I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Well, we could probably present these to the captain and see which route he wants to go, and then we know exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah. You want to pitch it to him?
I can pitch my part, and then you can pitch your music part.
Okay. And wow, Solok could do some cooking for, the gift giving signet, like little bits of food, especially seafood from around the Federation.
When I said that I would make something, I was not necessarily referring to food, but that is one possibility.
Well, you're good at doing recipes that come from very different worlds, so That's what I was thinking, you know. That's why I was thinking of that.
If I have time, I can assist you both in your endeavor. Of course, if the captain wishes me to do it, I will do it immediately.
Right. Well, let's take it to him first and run these ideas by him.
Is Captain still on the bridge or ready room?
Yeah, the captain would be in his ready room studying what we know about the uh, diplomatic. What was the word I was thinking of? When the diplomatic niceties of the Calvorians and the other species in the region that we know might show up for this summit.
The Cardassians,
The Ferengi.
the Breen, they show up
I think this is other folks in the Rolar sector.
in the Rolar sector.
Rolar
What?
is behind or adjacent to the Badlands, right?
Kind of galactically north of it.
Okay.
The Badlands kind of peel into the Roar sector a little bit. But yeah, it is technically galactic northish.
Okay. Well, then we'll go see the boss then.
Yep.
I'll press the button on his door to see if he'll let us in.
The captain looks at pulls out his cell phone, looks out the ring camera, sees who it is, and locks the door. No, just kidding. Enter.
Hi, sir. We wanted to come in and pitch you some ideas.
Well, pitch it away. Just make sure it's a strike.
Well, we haven't found the musical piece, but I'm going. Vogel and I will search through musical pieces created during the formation of the Federation. Something obscure that is layered with symbology. Maybe something created for the coalition of planets, which might not be in the databases they've already received.
So you'd be looking at the musical heritage of Earth and Earth, Vulcan, Tellar, and Andoria.
Yep, that was my thinking.
Well, I
Alternative.
hear there. I
Good.
hear there are a couple of historical holodeck programs that feature the signing of the first Federation Charter. Last I heard, Riker checked one out.
All right, I'll check into that. And then Miss Vogel.
Alternatively, sir, we do have two options for you, sir.
I like
The other option is to, keeping with your assignment of giving them a cultural diversity representation of the Federation, I thought it might be prudent to give them stories that define several of the Federation member worlds. For example, we could give them stories from Earth about our early exploration days. Since this is an aquatic species, maybe some that might involve Earth oceans, for example, and some of the early space flights. For Vulcan, we can give them some of their early philosophical teachings, among other assortments from Beta Z and Doria.
It's an interesting idea. What do you envision for the presentation of such a gift?
I was thinking actual books, sir. Something physical, something they can hold.
Interesting.
Oh, and then present it to them, and we'll have to find this. There must be a culture within the Federation that venerates gift giving in kind of a similar format that they do. And maybe we make that the ritualistic, process by which we hand it over. They're very sensitive to that process.
The Vulcans tend to be fairly ritualistic, but I like the idea of physical book. But what if you could combine both ideas, where the stories were told with small holographic representations of storytellers from those worlds, and then you had a musical soundtrack behind
That's
it?
that's I think something we can put together.
Should be possible, sir.
Now, both of these are excellent ideas. Mr. Vogel, Mr. Knox, this is your assignment. I'm going to trust you to carry it out. You figure out, you decide which you think is best based on what you've learned of the Calvarians, and get it made for me.
Okay.
Aye, sir.
Aye. And we'll jet out of there. Well, we'll maybe head to the holodeck and start getting samples of storytellers from around the Federation, and pick some really good stuff.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. And we could probably still present it in book form, but as they open the book, it kind of like a pop-up book. As you open it, it plays the hologram or whatever.
I like it. Then you have the written version because they like layers. They might want to read the actual story. I agree. Let's go figure out who our storytellers are. Solak, is there ancient Vulcan storytellers?
Solak contemplates this for a moment. Storytelling is not necessarily a component of Vulcan culture. Relaying information concisely and precisely is more in line with our culture, but the need for stories is not necessarily a driving force within us.
Right.
But perhaps there might be a lecture from one of your great philosophers or thinkers.
That would be what we want to include.
Yes, the recordings of Sirach and his philosophies are very commonly taught in Vulcan schools. That could be something that could be shared as part of a cultural exchange.
I think we got that one covered.
However, it is important to note that Sirach's lectures are days long. It is the type of situation where Vulcans will sit for days at a time listening to him lecture on the philosophies of total logic. I do not know if such a lecture would be welcome in this context. I would recommend a condensed version.
Yes, we'll definitely condense it. However, they do love stuff that's presented in a certain way, and they're not in a rush to absorb anything. I don't think. I think they're involved in a process with it. But I agree. We should get a condensed version of one of his lectures.
That's what I heard from it, Captain.
True. Most excellent. It's called Fostering the Career Development of Promising Young Officers. Yeah, book 2. I love it. But logic, Vulcan logic for dummies. Well,
But yeah, GM, I think we'll head to the holodeck, find the appropriate things that were meeting our criteria from various cultures, and then make the holo book, basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I don't
build
know
it.
if there's any rules or anything.
There's no role for it, so it's just how you guys want to present it. It's a role play thing, so no role needed.
by James T. Kirk. And then once we've got all of our people, we will print out each of those stories, lectures on logic. We'll take a piece of Sarek's lectures, one that's really interesting, maybe one that talks about the layers of interpreting things, where Sarek maybe talks about, wow, everything isn't always as it appears. There's layers of understanding. And some cool Andorian stories. There's got to be some way cool ones there. They all end in ice, but and then we build the book, and we'll have Solak maybe help us with that. Philosophy of Nom. I don't even know who Nom is.
I think it's pronounced gnome.
Nom.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's good for our part.
I think the captain is going to try and read up and study up on the Calvorians' diplomatic protocols and the other, whatever Starfleet has on the other governments or species that have been invited to this summit.
Starfleet is not aware who has been invited to the summit. It's a blanket invitation, essentially. It was addressed to multiple species, as far as Starfleet is aware. So expect the unexpected.
I like the unexpected. Can I try to attempt to create an advantage for the captain that he's studied the diplomatic protocols that we know, so that lower difficulties in navigating these complex diplomatic ceremonies. Trait: captain did his homework.
Give me let's go reason plus command difficulty 2.
All right. Take a threat, and will you take cultural studies as a focus?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Man, I'm glad I used that threat. So I'm going to re-roll the 20. Apparently, the captain didn't do his homework very well.
As you're going through, you're pretty sure the greeting is a open palm gesture within a firm handshake.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how bad and this is the first episode of Captain Prone Gets Fired. Cool. All right, here we go.
So is that it for everyone?
Yeah,
think
I'm sure unsuccessfully studying takes up the captain's time until he's going to get a decent night's sleep. No need to show up sleepy. No need to pull an all-nighter.
Give me 1 second here. As the ship comes out in orbit, or comes out of warp, and you enter orbit, on the view screen you see a beautiful planet, class M, roughly, from what you can tell, made up mostly of water.
That's a lovely world. Mr. Vogel, would you hail the organizers of the summit?
Aye, sir. And Vogel will attempt to open channel.
As you open up a
Yep.
channel, it's audio only because I forgot to make a view screen image or something. Give me 1 second here, real quick. Just typing up something. Okay. Uh, On audio, you hear the soft voice. Greetings, members from the United Federation of Planets. Welcome to Calvor Prime. Please go ahead and enter orbit, and we'll send you coordinates shortly to rendezvous where a station is in orbit for the meeting.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the United Federation of Planets, we are grateful for your invitation. I am Captain David Perone of the USS Navajo, representing the Federation, and me and my officers will be honored to board the station when ready.
We look forward to seeing you. And they cut communications.
All right, Mr. Gig, Mr. Grau. As soon as we receive those coordinates, go ahead, get us docked to the station. Mr. Knox, Mr. Vogel, Mr. Solak. Uniform of the day is dress whites.
Aye.
Understood, Captain. Out of character, I take it what he means is dress uniform, right?
Yeah. No.
Sir, I'm detecting 4 ships in orbit that are not the Calvorians.
Have you been able to identify them?
I'm picking up a Ferengi, a Klingon, a Cardassian, and a Valerian vessel, sir.
Interesting. They sent that invitation out fairly wide. Or Cardassian, you say? Anybody any those ships belong to anybody we know? Or I should say, anybody those ships captained by anyone we know.
Give me a
Also-
insight plus con difficulty 2.
I will, since insight is not my best stat. Diff 2, you say? Just seeing if I have a focus apply. I don't think I do. I'll give you a threat and 2 momentum. Roll 4 dice.
Just got it.
Oh, fish. I'll reroll the 17. Not able to identify who is in command of the other vessels, sir, but it would appear that the Klingon vessel belongs to a House Karef.
That is the house you went on the Klingon Vision quest with.
Oh. It'll be good to see them again. At least we'll know we're on favorable terms with the Klingons. or at least we should be. Very well. The player is stalling. He's trying to think about who the Valerians are.
If memory serves me correctly, the guy who we initially traded things for Gemulon, I think he was Valerian. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gia.
Yes.
Well,
On the Sara station, the guy Tolan punched, I think.
oh, good. So we got positive with the Klingons and neutral to negative with the Valerians. It evens out.
And then we got Ferengi.
Well, no summit's perfect.
Right.
Well, Mr. Vogel, Mr. Knox, do you have our gift prepared?
Yes.
Excellent. Did we get docking instructions and a time for the first event? What's on it? What's on the summit agenda, as it were? I'm guessing any species this well steeped in tradition and ceremony will probably have a very detailed agenda.
I will just play your XO here for a second. It seems like they just sent over some data. It looks like the event is a formal meet and greet.
Well, that's better than a meal. It's hard to get spilled sauces out of dress whites.
True.
An old captain of mine said in these sort of meetings, it's always important to be careful what you eat, because getting food on your dress whites never gives a good impression. How long do we have, XO? Or is it a come and go affair?
They expect everyone to be there in a few hours.
Very well. Commander Baral, then you have the bridge. Go ahead and bring on beta shift so the rest of the away team can prepare.
I will wait for the captain to exit the bridge so I can kind of shadow him into the turbo lift.
And as the captain's leaving, he'll look back at Growl and say, Mr. Growl, try to scratch the paint when you dock. And then the captain is going to go get ready to attend this summit.
So
Knox
Locke
will
will do the
jump.
same thing.
Yeah, Knox will jump in the turbo lift with you. Aye, Captain. Just so you know, I've never done a big diplomatic event before. I mean, I've done customs for them, but just so you know, I'll let you lead. I'll sort of follow.
I understand.
Show service about this.
Well, this will be good. This will be a good learning experience for you, Mr. Knox.
Aye.
Just remember, don't spill anything on your uniform. Don't step on anybody's toes. and try not to insult anybody accidentally.
And don't get into any fights with any Klingons or Ferengi. Aye.
Well, sometimes fighting with the Klingons is fun,
Aye. She nods at that.
but it is a diplomatic summit and not a singles bar.
Right.
Captain's thinking to himself, "Oh, good, more fostering of career development."
She has sort of a horrified look on her face. You haven't caught this much. She's usually pretty confident, but this looks to be a, sort of a new experience for her.
That's good, because fostering the career development of promising young officers involves finding out what they're worst at and shoving them in that direction.
I thank you, sir.
So that's why you sent Vogel to Calvoris.
Exactly.
Varus knew that and was all in on the whole development, of a young officer.
Okay. Is this the away team going over? Everyone's
Yes.
taking their main characters essentially.
Yep.
It's almost as if that's why they're on the away team.
Chief Cox goes. Coordinates relayed in. Captain, ready to beam.
Well, everybody ready?
Ready.
Yes.
Good. Energize, Chief. Ooh.
Vogel will materialize with her eyes closed and make sure she still has all her fingers in.
I love the AI art you generate. It's so cool. That's just player.
Space everyone out a little bit here. Greetings. Welcome to Calvor Station. I am Envoy Tessa Vorhon. This is Counselor Richard Var.
Envoy, counselor.
And she's holding out an open palm.
Prone will match the gesture and give her a firm handshake, because that's what he learned.
After doing so, she blinks rapidly and closes her hand and takes a rag and kind of, or well, like sort of like a handkerchief and kind of wipes her hand down. Please, if you would follow me.
Of course.
Tholok looks around at the building and sort of marvels at the engineering of this, that this seems to be below the surface of the water.
As far as you're aware, this station's in outer space. As she takes you down the hallway, you can tell that there's it seems almost like there's walls, but it seems like there's like a layer of holographics that makes it feel like the area is bigger than what it is, and in fact gives the illusion that they're underwater. or that you guys are underwater essentially.
Mhm.
As she takes you down further into the hallway, she asks, "Please, you may have a seat here, and I will come get you when the room is, or until the conference room is ready."
Thank you.
And she just kind of opens her palm, kind of gently presses it, or closes into a slight fist, presses against her chest, and gives a slight bow as she disappears from view.
Something tells me that I misread what some of the diplomatic files. Apparently, a firm handshake was not the correct gesture.
But she didn't take it insultively. Knox is reaches down to feel that like almost 70s shag carpeting that's there.
Solak
As
notes.
you reach down towards what appears to be carpet, it's kind of got a rough texture, almost like it's coral.
Oh wow, that like caught her off guard. So she'll touch it. Does it feel like it is coral or something like it?
It feels like a soft coral, almost organic like.
This isn't something from the 70s. This is coral.
A most interesting use of space and engineering here, Captain. You will notice here the windows look out over what looks to be the ocean. It's a holographic projection, most likely. Instead of their windows looking out over space, they basically recreate their planet as a way to, I'm assuming, feel more at home.
Fogel's gonna scan the room to see if it's made out of organic material or is just like a recreation of.
The carpet.
Yeah.
It is made out of organic material.
Out of curiosity, the captain's going to actually walk up to one of the windows and see if there are depictions of sea life in their holographic image of what he's guessing is their world.
Do you place your hand on the glass?
No, it'd be rude to leave fingerprints on glass like that.
But as you appear through it almost feels like the ocean is right next to your kind of face as you're kind of peering, and you do see what appears to be, different schools of fish and water mammals swimming about.
Wait, by feels like the ocean is right there, like
Like you can smell it.
Okay.
You smell it, and it looks like the glass is kind of wavy.
Okay, now he wants to touch it.
As you touch it, it literally your hand depresses through the wall, through the sort of what you thought would be like a glass plane, and then you can feel the water. And as you remove your hand, it is soaking wet. Almost feels like salt water still on your hand.
Solak takes out his tricorder and scans the water on the captain's hand.
Replicated water.
Replicated water, Captain.
That's to use the word comment to your people, Mr. Solak. That's fascinating. Normally,
Indeed.
if we walk out of one of our holodecks, if I got wet in a holodeck and walked out, and if I walked out of a holodeck with a glass of water, the glass of water wouldn't follow me, but
That's
my hand is still wet.
that's actually not true. The replicator holodecks also replicate things that they need to in the holodeck when it interacts with the individual.
Okay.
So like if you get
Well, it's not
wet
as
in
interesting.
I would say if you go swimming in the holodeck and you come out of the holodeck and you don't dry off, you're still going to be wet. So
Yeah, basically the material that's used to create the water goes with you as you leave the holodeck.
Right.
But this is interesting, Solak says, very interesting, that they would feel so compelled to recreate their homeworld or elements of their homeworld in this way while they are in space. It would be most interesting to view their starships. They might be designed in a similar way.
Or this is a diplomatic place where they want to present what it's like down there, but obviously they're a bit, they don't just bring you down into their home.
Well,
But
and that what we may be looking at is not maybe a hallway. For all we know, some members of the summit may come through this I hate to call it a window, but for lack of a better term, window.
window, doorway, threshold. It is an interesting theory.
Well, the logs from the Hornet indicate they are semi-aquatic people. It would make sense that their spaceborne environments would include some elements of that.
It makes sense too. Even on our vessels, we try to emulate Earth situations. Deep space vessels might have arboretums, or star bases have large areas reserved for nature.
Well, exactly. And some ships have, cetacean decks specifically designed for cetacean crew members.
And there's the Zindi Aquatics, whose vessels seem to be mostly have heavy liquid environments.
Well, if I was a Zindi, that's how I designed my ships.
Exactly.
But this is quite interesting and lovely too. I imagine we could take a moment to learn more about their home environment just by watching this display.
as a few moments pass by, esteemed guest of the Federation, the chamber is ready for you. If you'll follow me, please.
Of course, Prone will follow. He will just assume that his crew follows behind him.
Yeah.
As you enter into what appears to be, several seating areas and a few Calvorians already at the seats, she sort of steps up to this sort of circle mound and goes, "May I introduce the representatives of the United Federation of Planets?" And she looks to you, openly gesture to introduce yourselves.
Thank you, Envoy. I am Captain David Perone of the USS Navajo. This is my chief engineer, Lieutenant Commander Solak, my tactical officer, Lieutenant Knox, and my chief helmsman and temporary science officer, Lieutenant Junior Grade Vogel. We are honored to make your honored to be for the invitation and look forward to getting to know you better. He wants to look. Are any of these folks like holding gifts? Well, I guess the real question is, from what he's read in the logs, is this the appropriate time for him to present the gift,
You're not
or
sure.
is this one of those where players got to guess?
Players got to guess. You don't see any of the other members holding gifts, though.
Yeah, maybe they didn't do their homework. Actually, he will wait to see if the party on the dais there introduces themselves.
This man over here stands up, gestures with an open palm, and then slight fist, gives a slight bow. Thank you for the warm introduction, Captain Perron. I am first speaker, Valar. Believe you've already met the other two. And he motions to his right. This is Chancellor Diana Sovar. We'll be overhearing all the representatives for trade and what they could offer our people. In exchange, we will be allowing certain mineral access.
It is a pleasure to meet you and to represent the Federation for this meeting. And he holds a hand back towards Vogel. Vogel's for her to it lets her hand him what they put together. We'd like to present you with a.
Vogel's got him. I think Vogel had to switch to mobile.
Yeah. Captain Perron just kind of offers it forward. We would like to present you with this gift from the United Federation of Planets.
I see. Thank you for such a kind gesture, Captain. The envoy, she kind of gets up and holds out her hands, giving a slight bow to receive, ready to receive the gift.
He will present it formally to her and bow as well. Kind of a shallow bow. He is a starship captain, a little full of himself.
As she takes the gift, she keeps her head bow and sort of returns back to her seating arrangement. As you see as I'm trying to grab a token, another Calvorian will come in and proceed to grab the gift that you gave and then head back inside.
The captain notices that the other delegations are already seated. Is there like a blank spot for his delegation to sit, or are we already at that spot?
There's a spot. It's not on the displayed on here.
Excellent. The representatives from House Karath, are they Klingons that we met the last time we met folks from House Karath?
You recognize this individual? You're not. I'm not going to make you. I'll say you probably had a little limited interaction. You're not sure about that individual.
Okay, I recognize him. Do I remember his name and rank, or how I would address him? Is he an ambassador? What does Perron remember about him?
You think he was some sort of advisor to the other member of House Krath that you dealt with, which was Karath himself.
Perron will slightly lean that way and just to the Klingons. It is honorable to meet with representatives of House Karath again.
He just gives you a slight nod. But appears to ignore you.
He will look towards the Ferengi. Are they dressed in civilian clothes, or any of them wearing the insignia of a daemon? Or
One seems that he's sort of dressed. You feel like he's probably got maybe a higher position, but he seems like he's down dressing himself. Um, the Valerians, they are finely dressed with different adornments in jewelry and whatnot. And your Cardassians, while not in military fashion, are dressed more in a civilian attire.
well, he will look to the Valerian and say, "I apologize. I missed the introductions. I'm afraid I don't know the names of our Valerian colleagues here today."
I am Mark Doss. Pleasure to meet you, Captain. And this is my associate, Talviren. If you are wondering if we are associates with a certain Valorian you've dealt with in the past, I am not.
Well, the clarification is a welcome one. I'm not sure that I left a favorable impression with the last Valerian I met with. And he'll turn to the Ferengi and the Ferengi counterpart. I'm afraid I don't know you either. I guess this is what happens when you show up late for staff meetings. And he will address the one that is dressing down, but he thinks is in charge. In case the Ferengi think they're being clever.
I am Guildmaster Bra, Captain Perron, head of the Ferengi Commerce. Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, it is always good to be in a room with an expert negotiator and tradesmith from the Ferengi. And finally, he will turn to the Cardassians. Hopefully, they won't realize he intentionally addressed them last. And my Cardassian colleagues.
I am Envoy Grell Thranok, representing the Harpa Council of the Cardassian Union. And this is my associate, Sunra. Pleasure to meet you, Captain.
Likewise. I feel like this will be a great opportunity for all of us to know each other better. All right, making notes. I'm guessing Grell Theric is the Ferengi.
Brawl. Brall. Baral.
Ah. Oh, I thought Goral was the Cardassian.
Grell. Tharok.
Oh, now the player is confused.
I wrote him in the Navajo chat, so
I know, that's why I'm confused.
I marked what their association is.
Now, Tharok, I didn't hear it well, but is he a representative of the Depakta Council? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Really interesting. They sent a member of the civilian government. And Sreya is the head of the Frankie Trade Commission.
Bray? Yes. No. Baral is head of the Ferengi Trade Commission.
Oh, that's a Baral. Berall.
Brall.
Spelling. Where's my yeoman when I need her? Yeah, Perone will have a seat as in his indicated spot and indicate for his officers to do the same. And then he's going to see who starts the next conversational gambit.
I put the list in chat of the Calvorians.
Thank you.
As everyone's kind of seating, a essentially what appears to be sort of a like a server starts handing drinks out to all the representatives on tray, and then comes around and starts handing everybody essentially a drink as she makes her way over to the four of you. There are currently 8 glasses. Do you take one?
Perone does. Would be impolite not to.
That's what I was going to say. It would be rude not to.
Salak does as well.
And, as you do, she then makes her way and then retreats back into, some other location on board the station. As the first speaker, Valar stands up, holds his sort of kind of his glass at his, arm's length here, and gives a slight nod. May the waters ever guide your path. And he sort of just kind of slightly holds up a little bit, not too high, down low, and then proceeds to take a drink. And then the rest of the Calvorians follow suit. And then shortly
Crone
after,
will-
the other guests try to mimic the action, and the Ferengi kind of fumbles a little bit.
Prone will attempt to mimic the gesture and add, "May the winds ever be at your may the winds ever be in your sails." A nautical thing that he hopes is kind of equivalent of the speaker's blessing.
Yes, yes, and may your prophets ever be true and genuine.
I want to know what the Klingons say.
He actually remains silent.
Oh, okay.
Excellent speech, first speaker, and it is a great honor to be here with you today. I hope this may be the first in many gatherings between our people. Yes, and may the future of Cardassia and the Calvorians be a long and fruitful one. As he kind of raises his glass high and then takes a seat. Well, I don't intend to keep all of you here long, says the first speaker. Sorry, I am checking my notes. We called all of you here today because we wish to open up a trade. Now we understand that many of your worlds hold material acquisition rather high. We have recently become an abundant of topolane and terithium deposits on our worlds. And we wish to sell them in exchange for other goods or perhaps services that you may offer. Yes, the Ferengi are willing to trade with you with whatever you wish. If there's something we don't have, we will be able to procure it quite easily.
Well, certainly the Ferengi are well known for their ability to acquire goods. Perhaps, though, we could use this initial meeting to learn something more of the Calvorian people, so that we might best tailor an offer that meets your wishes and needs.
As I stated, we are willing to hear all offers. The Valerian delegation speaks up. First speaker, Valar. We understand your people's privacy and wish for continued isolation. We are willing to offer exclusive trade rights so that you may not have to hinder in such political matters in the future. Whatever you wish throughout the galaxy, we may be able to procure it for you.
While that seems like a handsome offer on your part, a diversity of trading partners helps build relationships that are beneficial to all. I see opportunities for all of our peoples to benefit from trade agreements, not just one. I believe that all of us here have things unique to our areas of space that we could provide in exchange for the minerals the Calvarians are offering. It would be best for us to work together to reach agreements that would be mutually beneficial to all.
As you see the first speaker begin to speak, he reaches up towards his throat and starts coughing ever so slightly, and then suddenly he just collapses into the pool of water as the rest of the council members stand up, and the envoy shouts, "Get the first priest right away!" And you see
The captain will stand up alarmed to say, "Can we be of assistance?"
you see several of the other two Calvorians come up and grab a hold of him and carry him behind the other area.
Okay.
The envoy speaks up. Sorry for this abrupt. Please enjoy yourselves for the time being. We will resume these conversations at a later time. As the other three Calvorians make their exit.
Was the speaker's glass left behind?
The glass was, but the glass spilled into the water. All this whatever was in the
So,
glass.
it fell into the water, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vogel, their concern is rightly for the health of their first speaker, and not for a criminal investigation. Get a scan of the residue in the water and see if there's anything in there that looks out of place.
Aye, sir. And I'll try to isolate the drink from the water and hope the scan is detailed enough.
Okay. With this, though, we're going to enter a new scene. So you're going to go down a momentum. But give me a reason plus science difficulty of 2.
Two, you say. I will use the momentum. Pretty sure I don't have a focus, so I'll just roll and hope for the best.
Can you fish?
I don't have a reroll for science, I don't think.
This is the one you can succeed at cost.
I will. I don't know if the tricorder sound ever made it to our soundboard.
There is none. At least not one that I found yet. So
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not detecting any poisons or nefarious compounds, although it could have been mixed into the water already.
That's okay, Mr. Vogel. We had to try. It could have been in the liquid. It could have been something they might have contacted in the glass, for all we know.
Did the glass fall into water too, GM?
it did.
Can I pull out the glass and see if there's any residual on the glass itself?
I'll say that's going to be probably part of the complication. If there was any original, it's diluted because of the water.
Right.
Fair enough.
And it might be sacred pool or something. I don't know. I'll quietly ask Captain Perone, is this type of thing happen a lot at diplomatic events?
Only on Romulus, Lieutenant.
Yeah,
Captain is going to look around. How do the other delegations have they responded? Does anybody look? This is probably a non-starter, but I have to ask. Does anybody look particularly smug, or is there a lot of surprise and concern, except for the one guy who's not at all surprised that the first speaker did head first into the pool?
Giving me insight plus command difficulty of 2.
Okay. I will give you a. You know what? I'm gonna go risky here. I'm gonna give you a 3 threat for 2 extra dice, and really just set you up with plenty of threat to hurt me with later. Especially since I don't think I definitely don't have a focus in this. Hey, but momentum pool.
Gain 2.
Oh, that'll help to offset all those threat I gave him.
For your sort of quick insight as you kind of glance around them, you do notice that all of the delegates are talking their supposed advisors. You do notice, particularly the one Klingon individual, as he's sort of talking to the ear of his Klingon associate that you know as an advisor for House K-Wrath. He's staring daggers at you. As in, he sort of get a feeling of he's not going to be your friend.
Well, that's disappointing. Prode is trying to remember, what have I done to piss off the House Karath? Huh? I should be friends with them.
Captain, everybody wants this deal.
But what logic would there be in harming or potentially killing the Chancellor or the first speaker?
As you're engaging in conversation, the three of the council essentially members come out as the envoy speaks. We are terribly sorry about this incident. Currently, the first speaker is, at the moment, all right. We are currently waiting on an arrival from our planet, the priest, who will be overseeing his treatment.
If it is not a, sorry.
As the Klingon speaks up. We're sorry for your first speaker, envoy. Are you sure that Captain Perone here is not responsible for his unwell being? After all, he cannot be trusted. Let alone his blatant arrogance for ignoring cultural rights. I ask that the Federation delegation be removed from this.
That's a serious request. One made without proof.
Or logic.
Just so.
Aye.
Says the man who engaged in a mating marriage with my betrothed.
So your accusation is not based on truth or logic, but in, well, jealousy.
Your debauchery has no ends, Captain.
Debauchery, is it?
As the Cardassian envoy speaks up. Well, I don't always agree with the Klingon. Captain Perone was recently working with one of our enemies, a Maquis member. And the Valerian is like, yes, I believe he was the one responsible for ending a trade negotiation after it was finalized by allowing one of our delegates to be injured and assaulted by this Maquis member. The fact that Starfleet's sending their best and brightest here is, well, maybe this situation is best that the Federation stays out of it.
Knox is looking to see if like the Ferengi are going to jump in on this.
It seems a little presumptuous to blame an entire people for. He looks to the Cardassians for an incident in which, for actions in which I took that were represented the greater good, for actions of a man not under my command, whom I dealt with, and will deal with him again. And then he looks towards the Klingons and doesn't say anything. The Federation is here to negotiate in good faith.
Okay. So there's a mechanic in play here, which before I give you a roll and explain. I currently have 4 extended consequence trackers that I'm keeping track of. Your goal is to add resistance to those trackers, so whenever there's a trigger point, they don't advance as far in those trackers. If one of these setbacks occurs, you could end up losing the entire trade deal.
Cool.
So since
Cool.
you are targeting currently the Cardassian delegation, I will give you a Presence Command difficulty 2 to set up a complication on the Cardassians.
Okay, and here comes the day I regret taking bold command. I will give you a bold. I'll give you a threat. I'm gonna ask because it almost never hurts to ask. Negotiation is a focus. At least he's thinking about it.
No, this is more like you're persuading.
Fair
It
enough.
Yeah, it would be like persuasion or diplomacy.
Sadly, I have neither of those. So here goes. Oh, good. Oh, hey, I succeeded.
Okay. With that, you do gain a momentum. Do you wish to add anything to that further to increase that complication?
So I'm adding complications to them, right? So
You're essentially setting up a complication, which is a trait, a negative trait on the Cardassians.
Is it a 1-for-1 on the momentum to increase
It's 2.
or is it a 2-for-1?
It'd
I
be
will
2.
spend 2-for-1. Yeah, I'll spend 2 to increase their the whatchamacallit of the trait by 1.
Okay.
I know that's a highly technical term.
We are all very
Is
well
that-
aware that the Federation has been expanding into the Warlock sector. It will be long before all this is Federation space. And we know what the Federation likes to do: assimilate cultures and identities.
And it is well known that the Ferengi are constantly expanding their trade markets in the hopes to spread their economic philosophies to other cultures, or at least
There is
make a
also
profit, or at least make a profit from us.
there is also no fact or extrapolation of fact that would say the Federation assimilates other cultures. In fact, the Federation welcomes the diversity of multiple cultures. For example, there are 3 humanoids here, 3 humans amongst you, whereas I am not human. My culture has not been assimilated by human culture, and human culture has not been assimilated by Vulcan culture. It is through the combination of us that we create a more diverse, unified culture that is shared amongst us all. Thus, we are greater together than we would be individually.
Knox backs you up by nodding.
This, by its very nature, is not assimilation. It is learning.
Sola, give me presence command, difficulty 2. And whoever is assisting. Any further assist
Captain?
is we get to spend a
Captain?
momentum.
You want to assist me, Captain, since it's a command one?
Yep.
Because so assistance requires us to eat a momentum. Is that what you said?
No, only if there's another. If there is a
if there's
second
two,
set.
essentially, if there's two,
Oh, if there's two.
yeah, the first one's free. The second one costs a momentum.
I'm just going to roll it as 2, and I'll use your assist as the third, Captain. I don't have anything that would, unless I'm going to use my determination.
Actually, if I assist you with command, that gives you a free reroll.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, I have
I'll
the
use that.
advisor trait.
All right, then we'll
talent.
do that. Then we'll do that.
Okay, here comes the assist.
Is the reroll as if I fail, or just a reroll in general?
Just says the assisted character may reroll 1 die 20.
I'm going to fish.
That's appropriate for considering the environment.
Exactly. There we go.
You gain a momentum. If you want to up their resistance further, or up essentially their complication further, it's 2 momentum.
I'll eat the 2 momentum and do that. And this is the complication on whom?
The Ferengi.
The Ferengi.
The envoy speaks up. Calvorian envoy speaks up. Is seeing as there is some disagreement with one of the delegations, for now we will have a recess for the time being. If you wish to return to your ships, you may. Otherwise, we will reconvene in 3 hours. And the 3 walk out.
Interesting that the Klingon delegation has such hostility towards you, Captain.
Well, of the three parties that are opposed to my presence here, the Klingons are the ones that make the most sense. If my wife was the former betrothed of the representative of House Karath, then of all of our opposing numbers, he is probably the one with the most legitimate claim. Still, it would be good to verify his claim.
If they can knock you off of the table, then that's one less person they're competing with.
At any rate, considering the accusation that's been leveled against me at malfeasance, I think it's best that I remain where all parties can see me. Can't very well be accused of further malfeasance if everyone can see that I'm innocent or not doing anything nefarious.
I take it then your orders are to remain here on the station rather than return to the ship.
I'm going to stay. Lieutenant Knox, you'll stay in case things turn bad for me.
Aye.
Lieutenant Vogel, Commander Solak, return to the ship. Let's verify our Klingon friend's claim. And see what we can dig up on the representatives from the other three species.
His claim is that he was betrothed to the Klingon female that is your wife, correct?
Yes.
Your wife made no mention of this individual?
Not the last time we met. And I'll
Interesting.
admit my memory of my wedding was a little fuzzy.
Please fill in the details for me, Captain. Is there a reason why you were so fuzzy at your wedding?
Multiple glasses of blood wine, I imagine.
Ah,
By
that'll
glass,
do
I
it.
mean mug.
I see.
This is why just a 3 fingers of scotch, Captain, are just the best possible choice.
Not when you're drinking with Klingons.
Aye, okay.
They are
It would
quite proud of
seem
their blood wine. I'm sorry, Mr. Solak. Go ahead.
no, I would just out of character, right? Is this a kind of thing where we could just call the ship and have them look into this? Or is it that you're wanting specifically Solak and Vogel to do it for reasons of discretion?
That and it's either that or have a supporting character make those roles.
Okay. So Solak will say, I assume, Captain, that the reason you are wanting Vogel and I to return to the ship and research this, as opposed to contacting the ship and having someone there do it, is discretion.
That is correct.
Understood, Captain.
That in before, at least before our Klingon friends, if sending half my landing party home back to the ship shows is a sign of strength that I'm not afraid. I'm not so afraid of them that I need 3 bodyguards.
Understood, Captain.
If I thought Lieutenant Knox would allow it, I'd send her as well.
We can't leave flag.
We shouldn't violate protocol, Captain.
But one away team member is within protocol, I believe.
I agree, as long as they're from my security department or the closest thing to it, and I appreciate the promotion, Lieutenant. But the day someone tries to put me in the flag officer's rank is the day I retire.
Aye, that sounds like good advice.
Solak taps his comm badge. Solak to Navajo.
Navajo here.
Chief, please beam up myself and Lieutenant Vogel. We will be returning to the ship. The captain and Lieutenant Knox will be remaining here on the station.
Understood.
Good luck, Captain.
Thank you. I have a feeling that I'm going to need it. Oh, and just before Solak beams out, and by the way, Solak, just in case, replicate me a batleth.
Aye, aye, sir.
I think that's a good segue to end today's session. Is to be continued.
Sweet.
Ah,